This is a timeline of the Irish Civil War, which took place between June 1922 and May 1923. It followed the Irish War of Independence, and accompanied the establishment of the Irish Free State as an entity independent from the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. The conflict was waged between two opposing groups of Irish nationalists: the forces of the new Irish Free State, who supported the Anglo-Irish Treaty under which the state was established, and the Republican opposition, for whom the treaty represented a betrayal of the Irish Republic. The government of the Irish Free State was ultimately victorious. The anti-treaty forces called a ceasefire in April 1923 and ordered the men to dump arms in May 1923. The war involved both conventional warfare when the Free State forces took the major towns and cities, and then a longer period of guerrilla warfare as the anti-treaty forces were gradually brought to a standstill. Build-up. January 1922 to the 7th of January, the Anglo-Irish Treaty is passed in the Dáil by 64 votes to 57. The 14th of January, a provisional government is set up to administer the handover from British rule to the new Irish Free State. The cabinet is almost the same as that of the Irish Republic, with the exception of Eamon de Valera, Cathal Brugha and Ustan Stack, who resign over the acceptance of the treaty. February 1922, the 18th of February, an anti-treaty IRA unit under Ernie O'Malley seizes and Rick barracks in Clonmel, taking 40 policemen prisoner and capturing 600 rifles and thousands of rounds of ammunition. Anti-treaty IRA leader Sir Amos Robinson closes down the Clonmel nationalist newspaper over its support for the treaty. Rory O'Connor has the Freeman's Journal closed down for the same reason. March 1922, a standoff occurs in Limerick between 700 pro-treaty IRA men under Michael Brennan and 800 anti-treaty IRA fighters under Ernie O'Malley over who will take over the military barracks, which were being abandoned by British troops. After negotiations between the Mayor of Limerick, Stephen M. O'Mara, anti-treaty leader Liam Lynch and pro-treaty leader Richard Mulcahy, fighting is averted. It is decided that troops from outside Limerick will return to their own areas and that Limerick IRA men would divide the two military garrisons, between pro- and anti-treaty units. Limerick Corporation will oversee the maintenance of the Rick Barracks. More confrontations result over the occupation of former British garrisons at Birr, Renmore and Templemore. The 26th of March, IRA leaders meet in an army convention and vote to repudiate the treaty. They also reject the authority of the Dáil to accept the treaty and set up their own 16-man army executive led by Liam Mellows and Rory O'Connor. See also IRA and the Anglo-Irish Treaty. The 29th of March, anti-treaty IRA units in Cork under Sean Hegarty raid the British warship Up Nor at Sea. They take between 400 and 1,500 rifles, 60 machine guns, 700 handguns and over 25,000 rounds of ammunition, which they then distribute to anti-treaty IRA units. The provisional government's newly formed National Army takes over the British barracks at Beggars Bush in Dublin. April 1922 to the 1st of April, Belfast Police Constable George Turner shot and killed. In retaliation, 5 men shot and killed and 6 children wounded, of whom 1 died of wounds in Sinn Féin acute Tyen area of Belfast. The 14th of April, Rory O'Connor, Mellows and others lead 200 anti-treaty IRA men in taking over the forecourts and several other public buildings around Dublin in a show of defiance calculated to provoke a response by the British troops still stationed in Dublin. The 20th of April, there is intense firing for 2 hours, starting at midnight midnight, by anti-treaty fighters on the pro-treaty troops in Dublin stationed at the Provisional Government headquarters in Merrion Square, the Bank of Ireland on College Green, the telephone exchange in City Hall, Dublin. 3 people are wounded. The Four Courts anti-treaty garrison denies knowledge of the attack. Pro-treaty Brigadier General Adamson is shot dead by Republicans in Athlone in a dispute over who would occupy the military barracks there. May 1922 to the 2nd of May, Republicans take over the centre of Kilkenny, including the City Hall and Kilkenny Castle. The Provisional Government sends 200 troops by train from Dublin to dislodge them. Fighting breaks out when the troops from Dublin arrive and there are up to 18 casualties. A truce is then brokered whereby both sides garrison different posts in the town. The 3rd of May, pro- and anti-treaty leaders announce a truce in the Dáil to try to prevent civil war. The 4th of May, pro- and anti-treaty IRA forces clash in Donegal. There is firefight at Buncrana in which 2 Republicans and 2 civilians are wounded, 2 fatally. At Newton Cunningham, Donegal, a Free State motor convoy is ambushed by Republicans. 1 pro-treaty soldier is killed outright and 4 fatally wounded. The 20th of May, Michael Collins and Eamon de Valera sign a pact, in which the pro- and anti-treaty wings of Sinn Féin would jointly contest the upcoming first election of the new state. There is a firefight at Gormanston railway station, Meath, between Rigman and anti-treaty fighters. 1 anti-treaty officer and 1 Rigman are killed. June 1922, Michael Collins repudiates the election pact with de Valera in Cork. June 1922, the 16th of June, a Free State soldier, William Murphy, is killed. The 18th of June, Irish general election, 1922. The pro-treaty Sinn Féin party wins the election, despite the Collins de Valera pact stating the election was not to be held on the issue of the treaty but to form a coalition government, with 239,193 votes to 133,864 for anti-treaty Sinn Féin. A further 247,226 people voted for other parties, all of whom supported the treaty. The 22nd of June, assassination in London of Henry Hughes Wilson by IRA men in retaliation for attacks on Catholics in Northern Ireland. Research will eventually come to suggest that it was pro-treaty leader Michael Collins who ordered the killing, but at the time, Winston Churchill assumes that the anti-treaty Four Courts garrison is responsible and warns Collins that if he does not act, British troops will be used to retake Dublin. The assassins are hanged by the British on the 10th of August. The 26th of June, the Four Courts garrison kidnaps Free State General J.J. O'Connell in retaliation for the arrest of Leo Henderson I.C. Belfast boycott. The 27th of June, Collins gives a final ultimatum to the Four Courts garrison to surrender before they are attacked. 28 June 5 July, Battle of Dublin.